Hello, folks. Today I'm going to talk about a very important topic. It's about Google Ads' recent changes related to bidding strategies. But before I go ahead, you might be wondering, like, why am I talking about Google Ads in a channel dedicated to AI and everything? It's because with the advent, with the progress of AI and all the development tools, and all the people that are creating or even going to create all the wonderful things, apps, programs, websites, or whatever, digital products or whatever. So I kind of think that Google Ads or marketing as a whole, SEO and everything, it's kind of a basic life skill nowadays. It is turning into, and as a creator builder and essentially or originally marketer, I have felt that this is very important. And AI or learning AI agents or automation, if you are a solopreneur like me or solo freelancer or dev like me, you must get into this basics, at least the basics of running ads or doing the SEO and everything. And that's why my website Tech to Heart is actually dedicated to creators, builders, and marketers. I want to create a combo, bulletproof package of information layer of architecture of a place as a whole where people like me can log can visit every day and get all the latest of all the important stuff that has been going on throughout the last 24 hours. And that's why I actually created this website for me initially to just keep track of things, do not miss updates and stuff. And there are agents, AI agents, that are actively monitoring 100 plus sources, and the sources that I have handpicked, that I have been following for years, and I know to be authentic, analyzing, and in depth, and kind of, what can I say, from all the categories that I want to keep tabs on. And those agents are actively monitoring and picking up the most important updates of the day and publishing here. And I, whenever I get some time, just devote a few moments to share with you the most important ones every now and then. Try to actually, I'm very, time is of the essence and I lack time. Anyways, so today's topic, that's why, is Google's August 17 bidding update that punishes lazy tCPA and tROAS targets. So what are tCPA and tROAS targets? If you are running Google Ads or you know Google Ads, you already know these terms. So tCPA and tROAS are just targets you set in your bidding strategy, in your bidding campaign setting, and under campaign setting, when you set up a campaign, as you know, there are like three layers of a Google ad. There are three layers of a Google ad: campaign level, then ad group level, and ads level. Now, this bid strategy you set in the campaign level. So now there are quite a few strategies to choose, like maximize conversions, target CPA, maximize conversion value, clicks, impression share, etc. Now, this update actually affects target ROAS and target CPA people, right? So if you have ads running or set ads that are optimizing their bids for a specific target cost per action or a target return on ad spend, you might be want to like reevaluate your values, the exact values that you are setting on this setting area, and reevaluate your actual spend or actual cost per action or whatever service or whatever action you are optimizing your ads for. Because so far the target CPA and target ROAS, Google were kind of taking this as a soft guardrail. They were not strictly optimizing, they were kind of taking it as a marker and then optimizing around that. They were also taking into consideration their own algorithmic findings, so that you were not at a risk of a not so accurate target counts, target ROAS or target CPA. Take for example, if if an action, you're optimizing your ad for action that your ad visitor or your ad audience is clicking on your ad, going to your website and buying a digital product. Now now you have set up conversion tracking for that by the fulfillment of that purchase, right? Now each of the digital product, if it is $5, right, and you are actually target cost per action you have for against that $5 you have said that you want to spend $1 or $2 for that specific action. That's okay, that's fine target to have, and that is okay. But if you, there was in this case, in this setting, it's a good setting. But in case you were not totally aware actually of what the cost of that action is, and you just kind of set some value, take for example $5, so you are spending $5 for action that is also $5. So that's in earlier setting, so far that was not that much of a problem, because Google was taking it as a marker and optimizing based on their own analysis, algorithmically doing this. But for now it will like take that $5 as a marching order, and it will try to like spend for that action that $5 mark amount. So what's gonna happen is that sorry, where is that? So if your actual CPA is significantly cheaper than your target, just like the example, your actual cost per action is actually less, because for that getting that $5 sale, your CPA would have been 1. But if your actual target is, if it is 5, so that the campaign will try to match that target, and your cost spikes after August 17. So that's why they take this into consideration if your ads are running on tCPA or tROAS, and try to find the exact value for that action, or exact value of your conversions that you are tracking, whether it's a booking or it's a form fill or it's a call. Try to find the exact value of that call or of that booking, and then set a legitimate and well calibrated target amount in that setting in your bid strategy, right? So if you want to like, if your ROAS, this is specific, ignore the 54% here. So if you are kind of want to like, if you get $5 sales for each $1 ad spent, so your target ROAS would be 500%. And for this to work, your conversion mechanism, your conversion tracking has to be properly set. Each of the conversion values that you set, each of the take for example, you are tracking 5 services, and each of them has different pricing. So each of the services needs to be tracked separately, needs to be valued precisely, and then you will get to set a precise target ROAS percentage based on those values that you have determined to be true, to be precise, right? So that's today's update. That's why it's important, and I wanted to share. Apart from that, a few other stuff. Perplexity just launched, seems something interesting. The personal computer comes to Windows. I Perplexity had computer earlier. Probably not much of a big deal here. But Kimi K3 is open weights now. This is another important update that you might want to know about if you are into running open weights model, or if you are a model as a service provider. But one thing to consider is that this is a Mammoth Monster model. The Hugging Face download itself is 1.56 TB. So this is not your everyday model that you can run on in a GPA that might be sitting under your table. So yeah. And here's another detail, another update that if you have missed, it's worthy of an eye, worthy of a look, is that Cloud shared chats with Google. Now this is not the first time this is happening. So what is this? Is that whenever you share a chat from Cloud.ai with anybody else, these chats are hitting Google index. So if anybody searches related terms that you are talking about that relates to the topics that you are talking about in the chat, and that can surface in Google index on Google search pages, SERPs, right? So this is not the first time this is happening actually. This also happened with ChatGPT, Grok, and Claude once before. So yeah, this is just, what can I say, and cautionary announcement probably to like be careful about what you share when you share your chats. But this, I don't think this is likely to happen, but could happen. but they're not likely to happen anymore in the future, because all the big players have already suffered from this, so they are kind of will be, what can I say, will be aware and try to prevent this from happening in future. So this is it, and go to tech2heart.ai, subscribe to stay updated with all the most important, because the world is very chaotic and the information landscape is, what can I say, is so fast evolving that having a place, grounding place to, to that only feed you the most important stuff is a good to have. That's why I have built Tech to Heart, and I hope it helps you as well. And I'm constantly monitoring all this backend agentic behavior and the workflows that has been going on. And I often occasionally think about when I see people building stuff on Facebook groups and Reddit threads. They're like building all kinds of things, and I think to myself that it is not about how fast you build, it's about how many months you have went through all the actions, all the prompts, all the functions, all the code bits of your development setup of your agents, how much time you have taken to fine tune and kind of enhance to its ceiling each and every elements of your workflow, of your agents, of your automations. That's where the secret of best production lies. And on that note, if you go to my channel, Tech to Heart, the channel itself, I don't get time to publish actually. That's why. But I have also built a shorts automation pipeline. But see the view counts. There are very small view counts, right? Why? Because these are considered to be low effort content. But this is not low effort at all. The effort that it went behind, creating those agents that are doing the research, writing the script, picking the template, designing the template, these are all automated. But the effort that it took to actually build the pipeline, I used Remotion templates for this, is not trivial. So yeah, maybe I don't know how the landscape will shift for this kind of automation driven work, but this I am constantly trying to fine tune. And what happens is that this does the job. It gets the points across, the update and the basic summary, the basic stuff that you need to do based on each specific item or the action items you need to take. Yeah, it does the job, and I'm trying to constantly improve. Let's see what happens. So yeah, subscribe and keep reading. Thank you.